Hey guys, we're doing a bit more standard today. This is after I've opened a bunch of Dominaria United packs, so I've managed to get up to 4 Djinns. But I thought, I've gone I've gone ahead and made the mono blue deck, but thought it might be interesting. We'll see, comparing this with the old deck. Uh, I had a first attempt at this deck just with one Haughty Djinn. This is just a shot at the updated deck with 4 Djinns and 4 Terrors. So this is just you'll see this deck on the ladder. I think something along these lines. I haven't looked at any lists, but I've just tried to approximate it. So it's just the 8 creatures and it's lots and lots of counter spells. So this seems to be what a lot of people are playing, this kind of thing. I'm not sure on the land count. I've gone for I haven't changed the lands here, so that's just the default 24. They're all islands because I'm running one copy of Flow of Knowledge, where islands actually matter. So, and you could definitely up the count of these. I think I've got about 13 counter spells and a couple of protection spells here. So that's what we're going to be playing, but let's compare it with previous version of the deck I played a few months ago. So I thought I better get on the bandwagon and try this mono blue deck. I only had one Haughty Djinn, right? So you can see this deck. I've actually got 22 land. It's very different. I've actually got 14 creatures as well. Let's see, some enchantments. That's right. I was trying to play Combat Research. That seemed like because Dominaria United had just come out. This seems like quite a good card, and you play it to play with sort of Delver with secrets and cheap flyers like Fairy Vandal, Spectral Adversary. These have both got flash as well. Play them on your opponent's turn and put Combat Research on them. I've got 4 Sure Ups and 2 Slip Out the back, so I've got loads of these defensive spells for my creatures. I suppose it makes sense because I'm trying to protect Combat Research. And then for my opponent stuff, I've got 4 Fading Hopes. And how many counter spells? There's literally Ertai Scorn, and I think that's it. 1 counter spell. So we're hoping that our creatures with Combat Research are going to do quite a job in this deck. They've got a lot of heavy lifting to do, and we're going to try and protect them. I don't think I did very well with this deck, funnily enough. We've only got 2 Thirst for Discovery as well. There's 4 Tolarian Terror. I remember getting annoyed drawing an opening hand with 2 or 3 Terrors. It's kind of something you have to mulligan, I think, but it's quite hard to play around. I've seen people, they've obviously got loads of Terrors in their opening hand, and they're doing things like burning through all of their protection spells just to dump cards in the graveyard. So I'm not even trying to kill their stuff. They're just casting it to just boost up their creatures and do extra damage, which is quite funny, really. So you could kind of see this deck possibly having that problem with the drawing the terrors and trying to get rid of spells. Anyway, so this was the first attempt. We'll go back. Well, let's get to the queue first. So I'm hoping this will be an improvement. It is just kind of doing what everyone else has been doing for a few months, but it's my first chance to actually play with 4 Haughty Djinns in a deck, so I'm excited. So we could do best of 1. No, I think no. Let's try ranked because I feel like this ought to be a good deck. We'll try best of 1. So yeah, just to recap, we've got 4 Haughty Djinns. We're playing a couple more islands than the previous deck, 24 islands. I think I'd quite like Syncopate as a counter spell in this deck. I think this goes quite well with the cost reduction on Haughty Djinn. We've only got the 2 protection spells, 1 Sure Up, 1 Slip Out the Back, 4 Fading Hopes, 4 Essence Scatters to try and deal with my opponent's plans, and just 2 Negates. So I feel like in best of 1 you're going to see a lot of creature decks, so 4 Essence Scatters ought to make sense. And of course, one of the most common questions is, why don't you go for Essence Capture, which is double blue, but you get a +1/+1 counter on your creature, because you want and the reason is you want the reduction to matter on Haughty Djinn, so you can play this on turn 4 and still have 1 blue mana up and Essence Scatter their creature. That's the simple reason for that. But maybe everybody is well sort of set up for mono blue and will have a tough time. I kind of, in a way, I hope that we do have a tough time, because I don't want this to be a good deck at the moment. But I've got to try it out for myself and see what it's like. And it's although it's my own concoction of cards that I've just thrown together, and I probably ought to look up the best version of the deck, the best versions. I suspect 24 land is too many. I wouldn't be surprised if they're all playing 22 land, because you've got a lot of card draw effects happening. But for my mana curve, I think it's my average cost is 2.5. So usually what you do is you double that. 2.5 doubles to 5, and you add that to 19. So 24 land is, the what you're supposed to play. But it's complicated when you've got lots of cheap card draw spells. You can maybe get away with less land. We could probably go down to 23 land. So the opening hand here, we've got 1 counter spell, and we've got lots of card draw. So that might be bad news for us. Maybe I should have mulliganed. The trouble is, I don't think you know when to mulligan until you've played a few games with the deck, I would say. So I think we're going to get stomped by this mono red deck, I've got to say. We've just drawn another Ertai Scorn, which is kind of a terrible counter spell to have. Yeah, we've only got 2 Ertai Scorn in the deck, actually. Alright, let's try a Consider now. Put a Consider in the graveyard, I think. Yes. Oh, Spell Pierce, Syncopate. Okay, it's looking a little bit better. We might get, well, the next threat after this this guy. So this is the classic mono red deck, getting in underneath the counter spells and causing me a big headache. Okay, do we Syncopate that or Spell Pierce it? I'm going to Spell Pierce it. Okay, I am happy with the amount of lands we've got here. So it's interesting. I've heard people talk about this. We're in that situation where we really want Thirst for Discovery, but he might force me to counterspell something. So we'll use an expensive Ertai Scorn here and tap out. He's got 2 more cards. He might have something horrendous. Well, he might have, the worst he can have is a 2/2 haster. Okay, use his red mana for that. So Ancestral Anger. It's not the worst thing in the world. Although, kind of wish I had that Spell Pierce, because then I can potentially double spell on turn 4. Yeah, that's probably why I should have used Syncopate earlier. Okay, we're learning, and we're nearly dead. But that is the way. There's not many ways of dealing with permanents in play in this deck. So we're going to be dead. I'm going to Ertai Scorn that one as well. We've got Fading Hope. Basically, that's it. If you kind of miss your window, and they've managed to get 2 things in play, you're relying on blockers. You want to hit your Tolarian Terror, chuck that in the way. Okay, that's 6 damage. And we hit a Shore Up, which isn't much good. So we'll thirst for discovery. Maybe we'll hit a couple of Tolarian Terrors. I think even so, that won't do the job for me. Okay, good game. But on the draw against mono red, I think that's going to be quite challenging for us. And we can't even counterspell that one. We could have done if we had Spell Pierce. So I think the Spell Pierce is quite valuable in this matchup. We should have used the Syncopate early, because it's kind of mana intensive, and hold on to the Spell Pierce for later on to do a double spell at some point. I think when I'm playing mono red and I'm against mono blue, I think he'll easily deal with my Phoenix Chick and my Kumano. Because they always seem to have the bounce spell or the blocker. But yeah, as you can see from that example, it's not always the case. Okay, this time we do have a creature. And I'm going first as well. We'll see how we get on. And we've got the Fading Hope as well. So maybe that keeps us alive long enough. So it looks like they mulliganed. It's a soldier deck. There's a Ocean frontliner. Okay. I will consider another 2 Haughty Djinns. Yeah. Seems reasonable. Okay, Thalia. Cool. Have just enough mana to deal with Thalia. For this turn, at least. We want that 4th island. Now it's a soldier's deck, so obviously he wants to recast Thalia. He may have Brutal Cathar and a land in his hand to answer Haughty Djinn. I'm just thinking the soldier deck probably not well known for its removal. Its removal is usually Brutal Cathar. Okay. So I've got 2 Haughty Djinns. I think I play a Haughty Djinn on curve. Usually this is a bad idea, so because you're tapped out and it just gets killed. But because I've got the backup Djinn, I think I can get away with it maybe. He's got another Ocean frontliner and a recruitment officer, so he's really building up a board here. Now here's an interesting one. If I play the second Haughty Djinn, that brings Thirst for Discovery down to 1 mana. I don't think we attack. I think I'm pretty sure he'll have a way of killing a Haughty Djinn quite soon. Okay, there's the Thalia. So in response, we'll do Thirst for Discovery. Drop an island. But he has bricked onto land, it's looking like, which is not good for him. I think I'll start hitting him with one Djinn. And I've now got a counter spell if he does have Brutal Cathar. Or slip out the back. Okay. That's building up the board quite a bit. I think we could do a 1-point Syncopate. X equals 1. Because I've still got slip out the back if he does get the Cathar later. X equals 1. Okay, I feel like he could... Yeah, he's going to concede there. So... Yeah. I don't know if that was the right call, counter-spelling that, but... of course, he could have a follow-up, the creature that pumps everything. You could maybe get through with that, but... It's a potential worry. Right, it's just 2 land. We've got to consider, though. I'm going first, which is always nice. Hey. That'll be soldiers. Okay. Yes, we want that island. Okay. 2 islands. Guardian. Now Syncopate. Yeah, I think let's do something with our mana this turn. Let's Syncopate that. It's gonna slow him down a bit. Right, I think this is where we don't play Haughty Djinn. We'll play it next turn, and we'll have Shore Up available. Nice, they've got the Foundries. Of course, this is a bit of a nightmare against for blue to deal with, I guess. So that's 4 damage through. And we can drop a land. That's okay. And we've got 2 Haughty Djinns now. Okay, there's a Brutal Cathar. Sure. Do the Shore Up. He's got 1 mana left. I'm thinking he would need 2 planes to kill this with lay down arms. Let's start the beatdown, I think. Well, I'm gonna play Haughty Djinn. I don't think I can get away with a consider in my own turn. I'll just swing for 4. I think that's fine. Syncopate's going to be pretty good. So that's 2 point. Okay, well, yeah. Spell Pierce on that works. Yeah. I'm just running 1 Spell Pierce. Seems pretty good. And arguably you can discard it to your Thirst for Discovery spell. I'm not going to lie, it feels quite good to deal with soldier decks. I've been beaten up by Thalia and Brutal Cathar for the last couple of weeks. Now, we've got a Negate, Fading Hope. Maybe this is vaguely playable. I think I'll keep it. Hello. Maybe the mirror matchup. Okay, I'll consider as well. I don't need that island. Not just yet. Okay. And end the turn. Yeah. Oh, pass to attackers, my mistake. I will consider at the end of your turn. Keep. Should, yeah, it's down to 5 mana. That's pretty cool. First sighting of the Tolarian Terror. I'm going to do Thirst for Discovery. I'm expecting it to get counterspelled though. He's running Make Disappear. I'm not a fan of the card, so... Well, at least not in this deck, so I'm not running it. Right. Okay, we don't want to tap out for Tolarian Terror, really. Or do we? Here's a good point. Right. Essence Scatter costs 2. I don't think he can counter it. And then he's got to tap out to bounce it. So we're going to play Tolarian Terror. I think that might be a problem for him. And then he's got to spend 3 to Fading Hope it. So he can take advantage of me being tapped out and get his card draw spell off. So, oh, he's discarded a Fading Hope. What does that mean? He's got another one in hand, I would say. So I think there is a counter spell battle on its way. I'm lucky to draw 2 negates, but it might not be enough. Aha! And he has two of them. Nice. Okay, shall we use my mana to Fading Hope one of them? Does that make sense? I think it preserves my life total a bit because I'm potentially taking 5 next turn. We don't get to scry off this because it's an expensive creature. Okay, and I'm just going to block with my Terror. That's the plan. And hope I draw another one as a blocker. But you can see counterspelling my card draw spell, probably pretty useful for him, I would say. I'll try my Tolarian Terror. But we're just one step behind at the moment. Unblock that one. Okay, Thirst for Discovery. No, we'll do that at the end of his turn. Now he can do Thirst for Discoveries if he wants now. Okay, he didn't. Okay, another Haughty Djinn. Okay, well, there's a chance we can draw a counterspell, so I'm gonna do that in response, because this is getting quite dangerous now. Okay, let's discard that, and we'll try an Essence Scatter. He's going to Impulse for a counterspell, I guess. So he's using Impulse. That's one I'm not using. Another card draw spell. A Thirst for Discovery. Okay. I'm gonna allow that. Then he's got 1 blue mana left for his actual counterspell. He did not hit one. Interesting. But he's got now 7 power on there. Probably dead next turn. Got to top deck something. That's not it. So he just needs to dump something, anything in the graveyard. Which I might be able to Syncopate. Yeah, we will Syncopate that. So it's exiled. Yep, just pay 1. No, don't pay 1. Because the cost is reduced by 1. I think we have to pay 2 on that. I'm not sure how it works actually, if the cost reduction counts for Syncopate purposes. Yeah, I just got to. That's definitely something to think about. And then another Consider, and I'm dead. Oh, okay, good game. But that was, I think that was quite a nice game of Magic. I think this is, the mono-blue mirror match is quite entertaining. It's sort of, yeah, it kind of comes down to who draws the creatures, it looks like. Well, on this evidence, but the also countering the card draw spell, I think turned out to be quite good for him. Even though, I got to cast the first Terror because of that. He just hit, his card draw just hit some pretty good cards. But he was also, so he was playing Impulse, so I think he's playing even more card draw. Maybe you could drop a couple of lands to play 2 Impulses, and you could probably get away with it, I would say. Okay, this time we have 2 creatures. I mean, I'm going to keep it. I don't know any better. I feel like this is fine. Okay, 2/1 creature on turn 1. I'm not going to Fading Hope it. Ashnod's Harvester. Okay, that could be a problem. That is main deck Graveyard Hate. Yeah, okay, we'll Fading Hope this now and scry for 1, and hopefully we can get closer to the next counterspell. Yeah, so I think he's just got me here. I don't have a counterspell for this, and it's going to destroy my strategy. So the funny thing is, I can play Haughty Djinn as a blocker, but this will exile the card on attack, and the Haughty Djinn goes down to 0/4, which is not ideal. I think what we have to do is just Thirst for Discovery at the end of his turn, and just resign ourselves to losing the Fading Hope. So it's interesting. I'm looking at this card differently now. This is a very strong tool against mono blue. Ghoulish Procession. Interesting. Okay. Don't see this card too often, gotta say. I guess it's it might be a mono black sacrifice deck, because he's got Cult Conscript. That, yeah, interesting. Okay, well, I'm gonna Thirst for Discovery and see if we can do something good here. Well, we found our counter spells. All right. Island goes there. Play the Haughty Djinn. And we can do a 1-point Syncopate. So that's something. And we can Ertai score his second spell. Scorn, his second spell. So yeah, 1 point. He's playing up around the 1-point Syncopate. So we'll just block the 3 damage like that. Right, yeah, it does cost him 1 life, that card draw thing. Cut down, okay. Well, we could Ertai Scorn, or we could Syncopate. Syncopate, I feel... No, I think Ertai Scorn. I'm going to Ertai Scorn that one. Because I've got another Haughty Djinn. Yeah. Another Haughty Djinn. No attacks. So his Syncopate is going to be a 2-point power sync now. So kind of the same as Spell Pierce. That's gone. Yeah. So he's now got cut down on that one. Another cut down. We don't have... you see, now it feels like a mistake, right? Because Ertai Scorn just counters anything. And this is one of these power sync style counter spells. Should have held the Ertai Scorn, in hindsight. So, that Haughty Djinn is dead. Oh, interesting. Of course, it works with killing your opponent's creatures. That's why it's good, I think. Yep. So interesting story of this game. Ashnod's Harvester up turn 2 just wins. If I'm not counterspelling it. Phyrexian Rager, yes, that resolves. And I'll go ahead and spell piss that one. So, good tip for mono black. I think Ashnod's Harvester. You want 4 of them. Block like that. See how. Yeah, finish on -5. So yeah, the deck completely falls apart against main deck, cheap main deck graveyard hate. I mean, as long, you know, assuming you can't counterspell it. That is good to know. I was wondering if you play a main deck unlicensed hearse. But yeah, Ashnod's Harvester looks like a pretty good answer to mono blue. I was wondering why I've not seen mono blue quite so much. I suppose, well, but apart from the fact that people are just trying out a lot of Brothers War cards, I suppose. Well, we've got some counter spells here. Okay, soldiers again. This is definitely quite a popular one, probably the deck to beat. I think the theory is maybe with a small creature, you don't want to bounce it, you want to do card draw spells, counter other things, and then play a terror to block it with. Okay, Denic. Oh, I'd love to syncopate the Denic. But unfortunately, I'm on the draw, so I have 1 mana to respond to that guy with. Right, we will consider, in that case, probably giving away the fact that I have a Syncopate in my hand. Because I could have Syncopated for 0 mana. So Siege Veteran, yeah, I think that gets a 1-point Syncopate. Because that's going to grow his creatures every turn. It's like the Luminarch Aspirant. Now we've got Ertai Scorn mana up. Okay, we'll allow it. And Ertai Scorn. That one. Now we can Fading Hope Denick. Or we can consider. So that's 4 more damage. Take the damage, and I'll consider. Another island. Interesting. I've got 1 island left. I think we can ditch an island. There's a Haughty Djinn. Okay, good. Tolarian Terror for 2 mana. Seems good. We could actually bounce Denick and play this for 1. That'd be interesting. Or Haughty Djinn is... we'll have Negate, but we don't... it's a soldier deck, remember, their removal card is a creature, so I think Tolarian Terror might actually be better here. Yeah, let's play the Terror. Because we'll have to pay 2 extra to target the Terror. So that, we'll see if this stabilizes the board. Yeah, Brutal Cathar, that's the name of it. Yeah, I actually went second, didn't I? So he has missed a land drop. Which is good news, because of course he can pump everything for 5 mana with the veteran. Okay, it is a siege veteran. Right. I want a Fading Hope that I don't want him to get tokens and pump things up. Good. Get to land number 5. We'll play the Haughty Djinn. We've got Negate and Essence Scatter, so we've got the bases covered. Now he's probably obviously going to cast this creature, Siege Veteran. There is an argument that I should save Essence Scatter for the Brutal Cathar, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it now. And I've got a 3-turn clock here with the Djinn, so no, sorry, 4-turn clock. He's on 24 life. I'm down to 1 card, so I feel this guy should be encouraged by the situation. They can all block my Terror and kill it, so I don't want to attack with the Terror. Play this Terror. That gives me another blocker on the ground, which is nice. The Djinn might not survive here. He might have the... I'm expecting Brutal Cathar. Sky Strike Officer, okay. And then he can draw a card off that. That's pretty good for him. Okay, Thirst for Discovery main phase seems to make sense here. Okay, nice. We'll discard an island. We'll play an island. I could throw Flow of Knowledge, but I won't. I will swing in for 8 damage. I'll keep Negate mana up, I think. So how does this work? Well, at the moment, it's going to draw me 6 cards, and then I discard 2. Okay, that's a block. Then he's going to tap to draw a card. Yeah. This is actually instant speed, now I think of it. So yeah, can do that end of turn if he doesn't have anything negatable. Okay, yeah, another blocker in the air. So flow of knowledge, end of turn. We can discard 2 cards. We like another Thirst for Discovery, I think. We like more creatures. We just discard 2 islands. That's a lot of Haughty Djinns. Okay. Let's Thirst for Discovery a bit more. Discard an island. That's a nice refill, I would say. Okay, now we will just swing in. Is there any need to play another Haughty Djinn? Let's chuck out another Terror. And end turn there. So this is definitely the point where the blue deck gets a bit ridiculous. Well, we just drew 9 cards with a couple of spells, so okay, Essence out of that. Right. That's well, that's a demonstration of flow of knowledge for you. 4 mana, instant speed, end of his turn, draw 6 cards and discard 2. And we just discard 2 islands, so definitely quite impressive. Only playing 1 in the deck. I think I saw somebody playing 4 of them in the deck. Then you've kind of got the... Well, it may have been 4, maybe it was 2. Anyway, I'd be scared about playing 4. Obviously, you've got Tolarian Terrors, and you'd have that as a 5-drop spell that would be problematic in your opening hand. Okay, keep it. We could just die early here, but we'll risk it. We've got loads of card draw. There's a Fading Hope. Well, that's going to help. Now, Ashnod's Harvester turn 2. Is that... No, good. Good old Tenacious Underdog. We could Scry, but I think we'll hold the Fading Hope. Hold the Fading Hope for a bit later on. Now, Liliana is going to make me discard cards every turn, which is annoying. I think I want to Syncopate that. And just because I can, I'm going to Fading Hope this guy and just preserve my life total a little bit. Okay, there's that dude on top. Let's Thirst for Discovery and try and hit a land. We did. That's excellent. He might have, of course, we know what happens on turn 4 with the black deck here. Okay, well, this time it's Tenacious Underdog. Fading Hope. End of turn? Yeah, I think so. Essence Scatter, nice. Okay. Let's try a Haughty Djinn here, and well, we have no defenses, do we? Let's not do that. Underdog, yeah, let that resolve. Graveyard Trespasser eats my graveyard. We don't like that, so we're going to Essence Scatter that. Okay, you can have Tolarian Terror and a Thirst for Discovery. No, not a Thirst for Discovery. Essence Scatter will be up. That seems good. Good blocker. Preserves the life total. You might have removal for the Terror. Has to pay a lot of mana to kill it. He kills it. Okay. Hero's Downfall of all things. Interesting. Okay. Right. Okay, this is terrible. I'm going to Thirst for Discovery because we're just not hitting lands. We draw 3 lands. Okay. And we've got Essence Scatter mana up, so that's something. Essence Scatter. Right. Tempting to Flow of Knowledge, but I will Haughty Djinn. You know, protect the life total here, and I can actually bounce him with Fading Hope if he gets attacked, so good card. He's got his card draw going. And my turn. Right, cool. So another Haughty Djinn, and then we can cast Flow of Knowledge end of his turn for quite a lot of cards. And I'll swing for 7 now. Okay, we don't like Graveyard Trespasser that much, but I think it's okay. I think we're about to kill him. Let that resolve. We don't need to panic. Yeah, he does exile that card, so these guys go down to 6 power. Sorin the Mirthless. He's going to make a blocker that we can get rid of with Fading Hope. I'm going to do this now. Okay. We drew into the Negate, funnily enough. That card's pretty ridiculous. We just drew 7 cards for 3 mana. Yeah, having to discard 2 doesn't quite balance it out somehow. Alright, well that felt pretty good. Let's see, I'm just going to check my profile. I think I was gold 4. Yeah, I'm part way through gold 3. Okay. I was just gonna. The plan was there. Just I get 4 wins. I've got to my 4 wins. We lost to Ashnod's Harvester. That is a very good finding. That card destroys mono blue. It turns out 2 mana and it eats a graveyard card every turn. Graveyard Trespasser is obviously that's going to be pretty good as well. But of course it's 3 mana. And from the blue side of things, yeah, Flow of Knowledge seems a bit broken. I think we could probably play 2 of these in the deck. I thought, yeah, just chuck in 1 to start with. It's not. We're not going to hopefully see it in the opening hand too often. But it's an absolute. Well, it's a thunderbolt late in the game. You just refill your hand and you have all the counter spells. Yeah, I felt okay about this deck. I think this is a reasonable configuration, but I might do a bit of research now and find out what other people are playing, what the pros are playing. I'm guessing more Flows of Knowledge, maybe. That's the mana curve there. Not many 2-drops. Yeah, in the mirror match we did. Yeah, we lost the mirror. We lost the mirror match. It was quite entertaining though. It was quite an interesting game. He was playing Impulse. That's the card that I might consider playing. I think. Yeah, maybe a bit more card draw might be good here. It is a question of what you cut though. It's sort of ultimately you're going to be cutting counter spells for card draw. It's difficult to get the right balance, I think. But yeah, that was actually quite fun. I think that is a video. Thanks for watching.